those who don't know, what is emotional intelligence? Take us through a little bit about it.
Oh my goodness, it is the ability to be able to use, manage, understand your emotions in a healthy manner.
There I was, an upcoming HR professional. I was flying high, scoring. I was even deemed the best HR of the year.
Guys, I'm so happy you are here. We've addressed some hard things.
Good morning. What if the distance between your goal isn't more time? What if it isn't more resources? Well, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. What if it isn't that you need better talent or understanding? What if the distance between what if the distance, what if the reaching your goal is just 6 inches away from here all the way to here? What if your goal that's 6 inches away is between your 2 ears? What if it's a mindset thing? Good morning. And that's how we're going to get started today. Welcome to A Glimpse of Growth with Dr. Dale. You are at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing with the right person. So, it's morning. Usually we're here in the afternoon. So we're trying this out because I kind of said in 2025, I would give it a try because we did the evening, we did the afternoon, now we're doing the morning. How are you guys doing before we even get too deep into this crazy conversation? Before we get too deep into this, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you're on the East Coast, West Coast, South Coast. I was a little bit in the North Coast yesterday. So, the conversation, the topic today is your goal is 6 inches away. And the question, hypothetical question, an actual question is, what if the distance between your goal isn't more time, isn't more resources, isn't better, more talent? What if it's a mindset thing? What if it's between your 2 ears? Because what you hear affects how you act, what you say, what you think, what you focus on. Distractions. Distractions. I know. And we're in a new year. So, hopefully you guys have went and looked at because I think was it the last live, the live before that? I don't know, you guys. You gotta have to go look at it yourself. We did a whole thing on goal setting. We did a whole thing on how to get ahead of 2025. You can't keep complaining about the same thing and not do it differently. You got to try something different. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You got to try something different. So let's get right into, before we get into it. So yesterday, right, I went and I did this event. I did this talk up in North Central Florida. And let me tell you guys, with a bunch of with an amazing team, a bunch of executives, people that sign off the checks. And it was splendid. It was splendid. Your girl was, I was when was I nervous? I was not nervous when I was there. I was nervous before I got there. So the connection, that's my alarm, you guys, trying to remind me to make sure I'm up. So the connection that the connection that got me that opportunity was, I kind of chunked it up to the power of follow-up. You got to follow up, and not follow up in a way of, hey, you need this, oh, you need to get that, oh yeah, you do my service. No, is the power of follow-up in a way of, what do you need help with? And one of the stories I told yesterday, and I'll say this very quickly because we need to get into our thing. I told a story of a very renowned, inspirational, motivational, best-selling author, speaker, and a lot of them did not know his story. So let me give it to you very quickly in less than 5 minutes. A gentleman born and raised in Alabama. He was born November 6th of 1926, and he was the 10th of 12 children, and grew up, decided he wanted to become a salesman. So he would go door to door, people's houses, knocking and selling cookware. Cookware, back in the day. Notice I said he was born in 1926. So it was a thing back then. That was okay. And it wasn't going well. He barely made ends meet. So after years and years of that, and not really making it to a level that he was comfortable with, he decided to do something different. He decided to actually get a little bit into it and ask the customers, what do you want? What do you want? Why doesn't this one work for you? How can I make that better? That will be useful for you. He started asking them those kinds of questions. And what do you think happened? He didn't only receive the information, he did something with it. So the information that he received, he went back and actually worked on that and give them exactly what they were asking for. So what do you think happened with his sales? Yes, it went up. They went up. They went up, and he started doing so much better. So he started doing so good. This is the funny part. I think this is the funny part of the story, which is a real story, right? The funny part is that he started doing so good, started selling so much, that he decided to leave selling and decided to do inspirational, motivational, encouraging people to get what they want. And with that being said, his name, you probably don't know his real name. His real name is Hillary Hinton. You're like, who the heck is that? Dr. Dale? That is the late and amazing Zig Ziglar. Yeah, that's who that is. That's his story in a nutshell. So, and how, the reason why he decided to leave sales, that reason there is, he came up with a very renowned quote as a result of that mindset shift. And the quote he came up with was, you can get everything you want if you just help enough people get what they want. You're like, no. I was like, I'm telling you, yes. Yes, I'm going to say that again. And then you could go look up the quote and you could do your own research. If you help enough people, you can get everything you want. Everything. If you help enough people get what they want. And that was kind of like the crux of my conversation with these executives yesterday. You are a leader of people. Help your people be the best version of themselves in their role, in their life. There's a book by Kingsley Grant, The Emotelligent Leader. And he talks about be the thermostat leader. Are you a thermostat leader? And that can be not only a leader in the workplace, but at home, at school, at play. Be the leader. And what does that mean? That means know the mood of your people. Know how they're doing. Know the temperature in the room. You guys know that, every time they say, read the room, read the room. Read the room you are in. Read the people you are in. Understand the people that you are interacting with. What is their motivation? What are their abilities? What are their skills? What do they know? What do they don't know? And common sense is, we all know, it's just not that common, right? And it's not like they're dumb. What you don't know, because there's something out there that you don't know, and there's a lot out there that I don't know. So it sounds like we need to have some patience, right? So that was the crux of that was where your girl was at. So this is where all some of this energy is coming from, because I get energy from being around people that just love to grow and level up. I get energy from that. I know that about myself. What do you know? What gives you energy? So with that being said, let's get back to our conversation. Since at the beginning of the year, I thought it was very important that I help us, because I'm in it with you guys, that I help us be a little bit more intentional and focused with our time. And that was one of the before I went and did this talk, I talked to the COO and I asked her, what is the complaint? Because you got to ask key questions. I need to know who I am talking to before I go talk to them. I need to do the research. I need to understand their psyche, right? So asking these key questions, I asked her the question, and she told me after, you asked me a lot of questions. I said, yeah, because the material that I'm going to cover is going to be so specific and so bullseye that it's not going to go over their head. It's going to go straight into their eyes, and it's going to force them to turn the mirror on themselves. That was the intention. And she's like, oh, I love it. So the question that I'm asking, and that I asked them, I asked her, what is some of their complaints? What are they saying? What do they say every day? Give me some of their lingo. When you go into meetings and you hear excuses, or what is their motivation? What is that level? And she gave it to me. Then I slide some stuff into my presentation. And then the conversation, it was so engaging, because monologue is one thing, dialogue is where the intention was, right? Interaction, right? So I just received, you're like wondering, how did it go? Well, in my book, it went amazing. And I'm, with some rule, I was like, oh, gosh, if only the world was here. And then she sent me feedback. She sent me pictures and everything this morning. And she's like, I got great feedback from this email. I'm like, I know. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You got to blow your own horn sometimes, because who else is going to do it for you if you don't do it? Excuse me. Last year and the year before and all the years before, I was like, so like, no, don't thank me. And then the girls that I started, when I started coaching on to get their SHRM certification, last week live, when I did the live with her, she said, oh, honestly, it was because of you. I was so inside, I was kind of embarrassed. And I told her, no, I said, don't. I was like, no, don't say that. And then I looked at you guys and I said, oh my goodness, you guys think I told her to say this, and I didn't. But then I said to myself, I'm giving you guys so much story. I'm going from one thing to the other. I hope you guys are catching all of this. So, and I forgot something that I learned a couple years ago with an executive assistant of mine when I was working my 9 to 5 job as a chief human resources officer. And I forgot something that I learned from, oh, it's G. Yeah, I'm talking. Tell me about it. Feeling great and yes, yes. Let's let 2025 be all about that. Nothing changes if nothing changes. That is so true. I agree with you. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So don't complain. Don't complain. It ain't you gotta take your career into your hands, because it's your career. It's your life. How do you want it to go? How do you want it to go? So this lesson that I learned from my executive assistant was, celebrate yourself. Celebrate your wins. Celebrate yourself. So when the students gave me compliment last week, or when they start on the live, I get it now. I think I'm trying to get it into my bones and let it be a thing that I'm used to, of just thanking myself. Yeah, you did show up. You even gave extra time. Like, give myself credit. Give yourself credit. You are doing the best that you can in the situation. Give yourself some credit. It's okay. The world ain't gonna go to it ain't gonna just blow up. If you start accepting some of the credit, you can start accepting your responsibility in it and appreciate. We said last year, we thanked ourselves for doing all the work that we did last year. Now this year, in the beginning of the year, we got to get to work, so that way by the end of this year, we can also look back and be so appreciative of the hard things we did. Because, life is crazy out here, so you got to show up, right? And those that show up every single day, sometimes you don't get thanks. You don't have nobody thanks you, right? Yes, she says we must be our best and biggest cheerleader. Oh my goodness, you're speaking to me. That is true. We really do. Oh my goodness. We could go on and on about this subject. We really, and especially, and I say this because I am of that species, and I think, Ms. G, I think women suffer with this so much more, right? Because we're always giving and giving and giving, and then when nobody gives to us, we're like, we're just gone, dead. We don't have no more energy. We are burnt out. We are just done, right? So that's why, don't wait until you get to the end, or get burnt out, for you to look back and say, man, I should have been more intentional and taking care more of myself, and really appreciated for everything that I've been doing for them, for her, for me, So maybe we can finally get into our conversation. You're right. You're right. Let's not go. Gee, you know what? Maybe we need to do a segment on that. How about that? Maybe we need to do a segment. She says, don't go there this morning. You're right. It's too early. Maybe it's too early. It's too early for me. Maybe you guys get up at this time all the time, but I'm a night owl. At night is when I be doing my thing. You gotta know. Okay, so then we're gonna do a conversation on women being more intentional and showing up for themselves and loving themselves. Yes, 100%. Let's get that on the books. And we should do it on your network, Miss G. I'm okay with that, or either way. Or we should do it on both. As a matter of fact, we should do it on both. Yeah, let's do, like, hear me planning while I'm on live. Like, who does that? Like, who does that? Well, I gotta be myself, you guys. I gotta be myself. So let's get back to the focus. Now that we went off focus for what, 15 minutes? Okay, that's what I plan. I plan to give you guys update for 15 minutes. So now let's get to the real conversation. Your goal is 6 inches away. And we're going to cover this in 2 segments. This is the first part. So the first point is, do you need more time or more focus? Reflect on how clarity and intentionality actions can help you achieve extra hours. Shift the focus from busy to productive. Are you busy being busy, or are you busy productive? Are you busy productive? Are you busy being busy? Sometimes I don't like saying busy. Like, anybody that knows me personally, I don't like you busy. My mom comes in sometime, and she, here in the office, the room that I made into an office, and she's like, "You busy now?" And I'd be like, "No, ma. What you need depends on what you need." Because sometimes you're doing things that do not contribute in a huge way to what you are supposed to be doing. There you go. You are doing things that you want to do instead of doing the hard things that is going to make a big difference. So I'll give you an example. I'm doing this course right now, and you're like, you're always doing a course or a training. That is correct, because I'm always learning and I love to learn. All right? So that's just me. I'm doing this course right now, and the course that I'm doing, I know what I know about myself is that as I'm going through this course, week 1, week 2, week 3, I want to get to it now. So as she is training it, I be like doing it into actually, because I'm building course. So I'm actually putting it into and implementing it now. And she said the best way to kind of consume all of this information is to listen to it first, give your mind time to focus and process the information you received, and then take action. And go back over the course for the second time and step by step start doing it. But you got to give yourself time to process the information. I got to give myself time to process the information, right? But the thing about it, what you guys don't know about me, is that I like doing. I could be sweeping. I prefer to do something than to think something. Does that make sense? Because think about it. If you are doing something, you feel accomplished. You feel, man, I just sweep this house. Everything looks clean. You're supposed to be building your course, or you're supposed to be thinking about that business plan that you're supposed to go and present. You don't want to do that because maybe that's something you're not 100% comfortable with. 1, 2, maybe it's something that it's gonna take more time, more focus time. You have to actually sit there and focus on what you are doing versus sweeping, where you don't have to think about, because sweeping is just a motion, an active motion, right? You're sweeping the house. I'm kind of giving it a really simple example. Sweeping the house versus writing a business plan, or working on your resume, or building out a course, or actually reading that contract and understanding what mistakes are there, so that way you can edit and update it. Those things, they take more time and more focused time, because as you're reading, you have to actually understand what you're reading and see if you want to actually make a difference. Start editing and actually do something about it, versus just sweeping the house or just fixing the bed. It's just an active motion. You're just going through the physical motion. So the question, the thought here is, do you need more time in your day, or do you need to cut some things out and be more focused? You actually should do. That's what I told when I was working my 9 to 5. I told my managers, put time in your day to plan out your week. Put time in your schedule, whether you're working or not, to plan out your next steps. And that's what, when we did that goal setting before the year started, was, what do you want your 2025 to look like? Put it down on paper. You can have an idea, but the research shows that if what you're thinking about, you have the goal for yourself in mind. If you put it in mind and you write it on paper, and especially if you put it like on a vision board and all that stuff, you get closer to your goal, because the more you see it, the more you read it, the more your brain starts working in that fashion, working towards it, getting closer. There's research behind that. Go do your research, you guys. I can't give you guys all the details about all of this stuff. There's just too much information. So when you focus more, when you have more focused time, and this is going back to what I told the managers, put time on your calendar. Put 3-4 hours, like usually on Fridays. I said on Fridays, I don't schedule anything. I try not to schedule anything unless I absolutely have to. But Fridays is for me to look back what I did and did not do in this week, and then look forward what is coming and see what's there, and then get ahead of it, right? So that way I can what I'm supposed to do for Monday should already been ready in motion to do, right? Prepared for, and when Monday comes, what I'm supposed to have done for Friday, if nothing at all, is to make sure I have time to focus and plan my day, plan my week. So it's all about the proactive approach, not reactive, not when you're in it. All right, now that we're here, let's just go on and do this. If you don't plan your day and be intentional at what you do every single day, man, time gets eaten up, and you be wondering, where in the heck did time go? I laugh because it is so serious. You can be sitting down, and I am not a scroller. That's not me, because that's just not me. What I do is, wherever I need to go on social media, I'm intentional. I was like, let me see any notifications, updates that came in for me. Oh, okay, and I comment on something if I need to comment. But I know already that this stuff eats up time, so I'm a little bit more intentional. I look at the time, and I do this every single time. I look at the time. Oh, it's 8:43. Okay, by 9 o'clock I should be off of social media, doing whatever it is I was doing there, right? Unless I'm scheduling an event or something like that, or somebody replies to one of my posts and I want to reply back to them. Like, I'm being intentional with my time, because once your time is gone, your time is gone. It's gone. You see? A blink of an eye. Time is going, and it's not waiting on you. Whether you're 20 years old, whether you're 50-year-old, 80-year-old, time is waiting for no one. So create the life, create the time, create your day-to-day that you want it to look like, and pack it with some action. Pack it with some action. And that's how we're going to talk about that on that subject, because it's a lot. Number 2, bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. The ultimate investment. So you invest time in an organization and you give them more than enough time because you're not there only 8 hours. You're there for much more. So why not invest in yourself when you leave work at 5? You don't have to do it every night. I know we have kids and we have family, we have to take care, we have to cook. Life is lifing, but maybe set 1 or 2 days in that week for you to focus on something that you are passionate about. I'm just saying, whatever we did last year, it's already done. You tried it that way already. I'm just giving you ideas and options to maybe try it a different way. Maybe try something else. Maybe. Maybe. Bet on yourself. My notes here says, why believing in your potential is the first step to growth. Maybe overcoming self-doubt and taking bold action is the next. Taking bold action on yourself. Invest money, invest time, invest in opportunities for yourself. And you don't have to go all out the first time around. Take baby steps. Like maybe you said you wanted to start networking a little bit more, start going out and just interacting with people a little bit more instead of being behind the screen all the time. And that's a goal of yours. Maybe look up and see some stuff that you're passionate about, and that association or that chapter does something that you like. May see when they have events and plan it out and give yourself enough time so that way you can get ahead of it. But if you keep on approaching it in a reactive way, oh man, look, the half of the year is already gone because you're not paying attention. You're not being a little bit more focused. And then actually taking the risk and betting on yourself. Maybe it's time for you to try something else. Because again, remember, we're not insane over here. we're not complaining about the same thing over and over anymore. Not doing that. Right? We're not doing that. So that's the question. We're not doing that. Okay? So next topic. What's our next topic? Ooh. Talk less, do more. Slap in the face. I'm sorry, you guys, but I'm not sorry. I went easy on you guys last year with 2024. By now, you guys should know this is what you get. You get it real up in here. You get it real. Maybe you should do less talking. Maybe you should do less talking. Maybe you need to stop talking. Okay, I'm not saying stop talking about your goals. I'm saying maybe keep the talking, but maybe start acting. Start packing what you're saying and what you want to do with some actions. So the course that I'm doing is with Flor Andres, and she is, helps you build your course, something that you are expert in, build your courses online. And what she says is, where was I going with this? What she says is, what you decide to do with your time, that's what you decided to do. If you move and plan and discuss, she said, tell someone about what you're doing. You're like, oh no. And in one of her talks, that's what she made the audience do. She's like, tell somebody what you're gonna do. She's like, oh, like for example, one of your goals is, I am going to start going to some Toastmaster classes, some Toastmaster meetings. Yeah, I want to be a speaker. I'm going to start doing Toastmasters. You said that in January. We are in August. Have you done that? Because they say that, she said that because think about it. Think about the psyche behind it. If you told somebody that this is what you're going to do, and especially if the person that you told is going to follow up with you, hey, didn't you say that you wanted to join Toastmasters? How's that going? I haven't done it yet. I mean, I haven't, I haven't had the time. You know, what is the reasons and excuses that we use? Miss G. Yes, Miss G says she has dedicated focused time on her calendar. That's what you have to do. She's dedicated focused time on her calendar, Monday through yes. You need to schedule it. And I tell every single time my mom, because I have to go to appointments with my mom, and every single time I have to do an appointment with her, she's like, yeah, so we can go on Friday, right? I was like, wait, man, let me check out my calendar. Let me see what I got on my calendar, because I kind of live by this, and it looks like whatever we do, it has to happen before 11, ma. Okay? And then she's like, okay, so we can't do it then. I said, no. Maybe let's leave it for Saturday. Saturday. Let's leave it for Saturday. You see? You got to be really intentional. And you know what it comes down to? Discipline. Discipline. Discipline yourself. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Yeah, Ms. G. Stop talking about it and be about it. Yes, we're gonna give it to them. That's a punch. That's a punch, but you kind of needed that this morning. Where are we? Today's the 22nd of January. What have you done these first 22 days of the year? That will speak to, have you done anything that you wanted to do that is different from last year? If you have no goals for yourself, then this conversation is, if you have no goals for yourself and you have no interest in that, well, this conversation is not for you. Or you're not ready for it. You're on, this is not a lax, laid back, do it if you want to podcast. This is intentional, getting ahead of it, leveling up yourself, wanting to grow, not wanting to be stagnant. Okay? We don't want to be stagnant. We ain't got time for that, because we got families that depend on us. We got kids that depend on us. We have people looking up to us, and we need to do all that we can on this earth before. Okay? All that we can. My notes here says, move from planning and discussing to executing. Highlight the power of, let's get ahead of the power of being consistent and taking small steps toward your goal. Let's start doing it. And like Miss G says, stop talking about it and let's be about it. So maybe take that first action today. Let me know how it goes. What did you do? Number 4. Where's number 4? Number 4 says, progress is mindset, not a destination. What you want to do, what you have decided to do, what you have intended to do, if you make that decision today, you're not going to arrive tomorrow. So please stop looking forward to, stop looking like it's happening tomorrow. It's a destination, meaning it's a journey. So you do a little bit on it today, you do a little bit on it on Thursday, you do a little bit on Monday, you do a little bit on Wednesday, you do a little bit on Monday again. That's what it is. That's what when I said earlier, pack it with some action. That's what that is. That's what that looks like. That's what it looks like. Every single day, disciplining yourself and showing up. Because I'll tell you one thing. The waiting on motivation. And Flo talks about this as well. So you guys should go and check her out. Explore how the gap. So my notes here said, explore how the gap between you and your goal is often bridged by shifting how you think and approach challenges. Shifting how you think and approach challenges. If you're waiting, I'm waiting to be motivated to do this. Okay, let's say you wait on motivation. Motivation comes and you start doing a bunch of things for the first 5 days, the first 20 days of the year. And then tomorrow, that 23rd day, what happened to the steam that I had? the push. What happened to it? What happened? What happened? What if it's not there? What if that push that you had is gone? And that's what happens sometimes, right? A lot of times. Sometimes we have the drive to just do it, and we start doing, and then the drive goes and gone, and then what? Do you not do it because you don't feel like doing it? Or do you do it in spite of how you feel? This mindset thing, this focus thing, this discipline thing, this is where it's at. This is where it's at, my love, baby boy, baby girl. This is where you have to show up intentionally and be focused on what you're doing, because if you don't do it this time next year, you're gonna look back and like, wait, what did a year go? How did the end of the year get here so quick? If you were intentionally showing up and doing every day, then maybe maybe the end of the year wouldn't have caught you off guard. Yeah, I know. This may be, this may be, it's time for you to take some action. It's time for us to take some action. And now after this, let me tell you, I'm not talking and I'm not telling you guys to do this and not doing it myself, because I already did it. Look what I did. Earlier in this conversation, I talked about this executive that I went and I did this speaking event at yesterday. Last year, when I signed a contract with them, what do you think your girl did? I went and I told them that I was doing this leadership course, this online leadership course for executives for exactly these kinds of issues, and that so that they can if she wanted to add one or two of her team members. I said that in October, November to her. This morning, when she texted me, thank you so much. We had really great feedback as it relates to the event. I'll touch base with you next week to discuss the courses you talked about. So she can add her people into the course that I have yet to complete. I mean, granted, I told her it was going to be probably not ready until the end of March, but your girl got work to do, because I told her I would do it. I told everybody in the course community that we have that I would do it. Tell me that's not motivation. That is some serious motivation. So when I tell you I'm at night, my mom tells me all the time, she's like, oh, what time did you go to bed last night? It's like 3 o'clock. You gotta pack it with some action. And then I came late yesterday and I went to bed late, and then I woke up this morning. I was like, and then the type of person that I am, because my family, the type of woman that I come from, my family lineage, I'm a family of actions. Women that take action. All of the women in my family, my sisters, my aunts, my mom, they're action people. They take action in our communities, but in our community back home in Honduras, everybody in the community knows us, knows my family. Always giving, always helping. I try, and then this morning I'm here 8 o'clock in the morning because I'm decided I wanted to try if 8 o'clock works for me. And I said to myself, why did I do that to myself? I should have did it the following week. This is what I'm telling you. You got to show up for yourself. You show up for everybody else. Show up for yourself as well. Yes. That's motivation. Yeah, Miss G. Yeah. Yeah, she's looking out for it. And she reminded me this morning. So if I thought I forgot about it and hoped that she forgot about it, she didn't. She didn't. And if I say I'm serious about doing this coaching and, this, all of this stuff that I'm doing as it relates to my business and Dale reports, I got to take action. So we said a lot about that one. The last one we're going to cover today is numero cinco, the power of small step and focused actions. How micro decisions each day can create monumental shifts. Just a little small action. Today, you want to start doing those, being a part of more networking events. Do the research. Look at networking events. Go on Eventbrite or something. Networking events in my area. And see where that takes you. Spend 30 minutes looking that up. And then if you see an event that you are motivated by and that speaks to you, schedule it. Go. And especially if it's free. Especially if it's free. And if it's a small fee, then that's where we talked about earlier, investing in yourself. And that's just an example. If you want to be more intentional with networking, or if you need to look for a new school for your kids, do the research. You need to, whatever it is, you want a trip, right? I did that earlier. I want to do a trip for next year. For the end of the year. Husband and I said, I'm not gonna, for my birthday, we're going somewhere. We're going here. Start putting the money away, a little bit at a time. Of course, look and see how much, you got to do the research first, right? How much does it cost to go to blah? Right? How much does it cost to go to, I have this friend of mine, who was it? I was on some training, some call, someone that said her son, I think he was 7, 8 years old, got the entire family together because they decided they're going to go to Spain. Oh, it was one of the HR fellow individuals, my HR fellow team, and from HR ABC, and he said that she said that her child, they said that they wanted to go to China or something at the end of the year or some point during the year, and her son called everybody in the family that wanted to go, and he scheduled a meeting, got on Zoom, and told everybody every research that he did about it and how much it's going to cost, right? Looked at the hotel and everything. Because he's serious about, he's a special someone, right? He's a special little boy. He's serious about it. So he did that. Nobody told him to do that. Because that's just how intentional he was. These kids are smart these days. These kids are smart. So, and he decided to do the research on it, where to stay and how much it's going to cost everyone, so everybody can start saving their money right now. Because I laugh because it is so, it can be so daunting sometimes. You're like, man, why can't I just get it together? If I had just had more time in the day. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You need to change your mindset around it. You need more focus. And here are the first 5 steps to getting ahead of 2025. I'm not saying do. I said focus, 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 and then do intentionally. Do just that. I'm not saying don't go out and have fun with your friends. I'm saying You can't do that all the time. And then and then be focused. You got to schedule the stuff. Miss G said it. Right. You got to schedule the stuff. Schedule it. I have a friend that's having a wedding at this time in this point in time in the year. All right, see, they schedule their wedding. They schedule the date it's gonna happen. They had to plan all that stuff. The same thing when you get married. When you go on a date, you get ready for it. You don't wait until after when the date of the date is finally here to be like, all right, man, I wanted to buy some shoes. Man, I wanted to call my girlfriend and have her look at some clothes that I wanted to. No, what did you do? You planned. You see how intentional, how focused we get when it comes to something we want? You get very focused. I'm challenging you. Do that same thing. You get focused when it comes to a boy or a girl. You get very focused when it comes to something that you like and something that you want to do. You're focused on it. And you know what you need to do. But when it comes to you actually investing in yourself, maybe going and doing that certification, maybe growing yourself, maybe going to therapy. Did you schedule that? Maybe that's something you need to do. Because going from relationship to relationship to relationship, it's exhausting. And it takes away your energy. It takes away your energy. Like there's too much going on. What are you doing with your time? Sit down. And one of the other things that Flora said in the training that she gave us was sit down. And you're like, I'm challenging you. This is a call to action for you. This is a CTA. Okay. So sit down and write down every single thing you do throughout the day. And this is how detailed you have to be. I got up at 8 o'clock. I got out of bed at 8:30. I went to the bathroom for 2 hours. I ate for 45 minutes. I see where you're spending your day, leisure, business, work, fun time, kids. And then that's going to tell you. And then don't forget to also figure out how much time you spend on this and social media and skimming. What do they call it? Scrolling, doom scrolling. Don't forget to schedule that. Find out how much you spend on that. Because actually your phone tells you. Your phone tells you. I think my phone told me last month, December, I spent 10 hours. Because I was off for like 2 weeks. So I was doing a lot more chilling because of the holidays. But your phone tells you how much time you're spending on it. So, this has been a conversation with Dr. Dale, a glimpse of growth. This is some hard things. It is what it is. Either you take it and turn the mirror on yourself and actually start doing some of these things, or you just keep going. And then I'll see you in the same place that you are in right now next year. Because you cannot move ahead and get ahead if you don't take action. Take focused action and be intentional on how you are showing up every single day. You can't go anywhere. I don't care what you do. You said you want to do more of this, then you need to actually start investing the time and putting yourself towards that. Look at where you're spending your time and take it from there. Because you'll be surprised. You will be surprised where you're spending your time. So don't, and I tell this now, all of my friends that I talk to, I'm like, don't tell me you don't have no time. I don't want to hear that. Because if we sit down and start calculating what you're doing with your time, I said, all right, let's take this first 30 minutes of this conversation and actually start writing down what you do every single day. No, that's not needed. I know what I do. Yeah? What did you do at 8 o'clock this morning? You don't know, you say? You're not sure? Yes. Yes. GR Houston Jack, thank you. She says those small steps add up. Yes, those small steps add up. They do. Right? Ms. G says, I love that feature. I check my numbers too. Yes. Check your phone and it tells you how much time you're spending on whatever app. And it's even start recommending, should we delete and uninstall these apps? How about you use your phone for some of the right things? Man, we're coming in strong this morning. All right, this conversation is done. We are done. We talked about some hard things. Ms. G, thanks for hanging out. So maybe I'll do the next time. I'll do it in the morning again a little bit because it's the morning time. Because I go to bed so late because I'm a night owl. I work at night. I know most of my energy comes from it's at night. You know, I start doing my thing, do my courses and stuff at night. So maybe I'll switch it up between the morning and afternoon. Tell me what you guys think. Morning or afternoon? Morning or afternoon? And we can go that way. So to kind of bring it home, your goal is 6 inches away. And here are some steps to get you closer to closing that gap. Do you need more time? Or do you need more focus? That was the first point we covered today. Number 2, bet on yourself. That is the ultimate investment. Number 3, talk less, do more. Pack it with actions. Stop talking about it, Ms. G said. Be about it. Be about it. Number 4, progress is mindset, not a destination. You start it today does not mean it ends tomorrow. You got to show up intentionally every day. And for the type of person that I am, I need to see that end goal. And if I don't see it, I can work towards it. In order for me to see it, I have to visualize, I have to be very crystal clear on what I want my next amount of time to look like. What are you doing as it relates to that? And number 5, the power of small, focused actions. Baby steps. And we always talk about the elephant. Don't eat the elephant all at once. Because we need to save some of the elephant for tomorrow. And then the after tomorrow. And then the after tomorrow. Plus, you can't eat it all at once. You can probably eat maybe half of his ear, one of his ear. Maybe half of one of his ear. He's just too much. He's too big. Right? And you want to save some of that food for tomorrow. Because you're going to need to live tomorrow too. This has been a glimpse of growth with Dr. Dale. I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday. I have a guest next week, Wednesday. Miss G, yes, you and I need to connect. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for engaging. Let me know anything that I said, that I can probably do better. I don't mind you guys kind of sending me a message and sharing, but I spoke from my heart and I had so much fun. Like I always do. So take care of yourself and I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Thank you for being here and supporting this channel. If you enjoyed this episode and this content, it would mean a lot to me if you would take a few seconds to ensure you are subscribed to A Glimpse of Growth with Dr. Dale. Click the notification bell to receive notification. Share it with someone you think may need it. And let's continue to become more intelligent with our emotions. Thank you. See you later.